Hello, everyone, and welcome to this short piece on poetry writing. My name is Alex Gomar, and I will be your tutor for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So today we're going to be writing a poem, at least one poem. Um, and now, if that sounds scary, we're going to be writing a poem in the simplest possible way, in a way that I hope shouldn't take too much effort. We're just going to get pen to paper as quickly as possible. We're going to do that by looking at a form of poetry called stream of consciousness. So if you imagine a stream, a stream of water that flows and flows and flows and never stops, it's a little bit like that. It's just something that can going and going and going and going and going. It's wild, and doesn't have to be structured or tamed too much. And consciousness, imagine what are we looking at? What am I thinking about? What am I seeing or hearing or smelling right now? And I'm just going to write that down. So we're going to look at a couple of poems. The first one is by Mihaela Puriol, and the title is actually Stream of Consciousness. So she probably just thought, I'm going to write a stream of consciousness, and here's the title, Stream of Consciousness. So let's give it a little read. Behind these closed, sorry, let's start again. Behind these locked doors, quietness and well-being. Outside, the agitation of existence and a terrible storm. My small, fluffy white dog is asleep, curled comfortably on my lap. The other fluffy white dog, the big furred Samoyed, though blind, he closed his eyes and sleeps as soundly as this little one here. The brown one, though half paralyzed, he is relaxing his all four legs, and all three take peacefully their respiration. Even the parrots in their cage, this time of year, sleep with the beaks in their plumage of blue and yellow-green. I look at the aquarium. He is not there. The only fish left. So that's just one part of that quite long poem. So what is she doing? Is this something that she's thought about for months and months, and she's like, right, I'm going to write this beautiful poem that I've been thinking about? Or is this something that she's just writing as she's looking at things? The first clue is obviously that it's in the first person, that it's written from her perspective. How do we know that? Because of all these my, I, it's written from her perspective. Also, how do we know it's something that she's writing as she's looking at it? We can see what she's seeing. We can see my small fluffy white dog is asleep, curled comfortably on my lap. You can see she's looking at that. And then she looks, the other fluffy white dog. There it is. And then there's the third one. She looks around and she sees her third dog, the brown one. There it is. Different. And she's looking at she sums it up, all three are sleeping peacefully. And she looks around and sees the cage, even the parrots in their cage, there it is, are sleeping peacefully. And then she looks around and sees the aquarium. So we've got her, we can see her, and she's surrounded by her animals in her house. And you can feel she feels safe. Everybody's sleeping around her, and which is contrasted with outside, and there's a terrible storm outside. So she's just looking at things and writing them down. Here's another example of a poem like that. You can see immediately there's a difference here, because the lines are much less balanced, or you could say structured. These lines are quite balanced. They're even. They often finish with a full stop. You see this one by Jamal May. These much fewer of these lines finish with a full stop. Much fewer start with a capital letter. And you can see there's much less punctuation. It's even more free than the previous one. This one's called There Are Birds Here. Here we go. There are birds here. So many birds here is what I was trying to say when they said those birds were metaphors for what is trapped between buildings and buildings. No. The birds are here to root around for bread. The girl's hands tear and toss like confetti. No, I don't mean the bread is torn like cotton. I said confetti, and no, not the confetti a tank can make of a building. So it's another example of someone writing as they're thinking, or it feels like they're just talking and talking and talking and talking and not really stopping. It's just speaking or writing exactly what they're thinking. They're seeing birds. There are birds here. How many birds? So many birds. And we can see it's also quite free. We have some lines which are just with 2 words, some lines with which are much longer. See, with contrasting with these lines that are 2 words, they don't. The lines also don't have to make sense in terms of the structure of a sentence. So many birds here is what I was trying to say. You see these 2 lines could have commas there, but the lines are free. They just, and they flow on. The poet has structured their poem in the way that they want to. They don't have an expectation, okay, this is how you make a poem. Just, no, this is how I'm going to write my poem, and it's according to what I'm thinking at the moment. So let's try that ourselves. Blank page. Now, writing a poem with a blank page might look a little bit scary. So what we might do, a little piece of advice, is just to put pen to paper immediately. So I'm just going to make some lines. There's a line there. Oh no, I'm going to actually, the rest of the lines will be my favourite colour, which is turquoise. There we go. There we go. And I make that down there. And this one is kind of a little bit like a trapeze there. See, it doesn't have to look pretty, but I've put pen to paper there. I'm gonna draw some stars, draw some wonky stars, and there we go. Okay, I've put pen to paper. This is now mine. This is my creation. Whatever happens, I've put something down. I've made a start. So, what can I see in here? I can see pictures, photographs. There it is, pictures. What can I? Maybe I can put it in. I'm going to put this in black. There we go. Put that away. Pictures. Photographs. Old-fashioned, with men looking at me next to the trains which will carry them deeper into the landscape, which is no longer there because it's the past. I'm looking at a photograph, and that's my poem. I looked at the photograph and I just wrote whatever came to my head. So you can see I didn't worry anything about punctuation or balance in lines. It's just one long line. It's a stream of consciousness, and now we can structure it. So you don't have to have a set number of words per line. So I'm just going to go pictures. No, I'm going to make pictures, photographs, my first line. Old-fashioned, my second line. With men. Third line there. Looking at me. Next to the trains. Which will carry them deeper. See, I didn't even worry about spelling. Into the landscape, which is no longer there. And there we have a poem. I'm even going to sign my name. Alex Gomar. There we are. And it's as simple as that. Just write down whatever you're thinking. You don't have to worry about punctuation. You can think about that later. You can structure the lines however you want to. And I'm going to give it a read. Pictures, photographs, old-fashioned, with men looking at me next to the trains, which will carry them deeper into the landscape which is no longer there. And that's my poem. There we go. Try it for yourself. Put pen to paper. Just write what you see, write what you think. Share it with me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.